I don't want to sound too comic on air, but very recently, and I do know that a colleague of ours reported that some people were caught eating bats. A lot of people have never really heard that in Nigeria bats are consumed, but only very recently, some people were reported where they were seen and caught to have eaten bats, and there was concern. I mean, I think they called in the police here because they felt that, that was a very irresponsible behavior considering the circumstance. They also tried to call the Ebola alert numbers, to see if there was, maybe they should be tested in advance or something to that effect.
Maybe. I would not advise it. What we have, what scientific facts tell us is that if you cook above 60 degrees, because really the virus is very weak in vitro, that is outside the body. It's like the HIV virus, very weak outside the body. But immediately it gains a foothold in vivo, that's inside the body, it becomes very wild. So really, if you cook above 60 degrees, you have killed the virus. And the way we cook here, we cook above 100 degrees, but because there will be a lot of steam. So therefore, it's unlikely. But as unlikely as it is, I, Dr. Wale Ahmed, will not eat bushmeat for now, because I have so many other kind of meat to eat. So some of these things is about the choices we have to make. Our own responsibility is to let people know that these are the facts and advise them accordingly.
Well, some people will say that, it's not so much in the cooking, but in the handling of the raw meat. We've been told that that's where you could come in contact with it.
It's likely, and that's why, you see, it's better if you just avoid some of those things, especially where the lines are not clear-cut. It's like shaking. I shook your hands when I came in this morning. And I'm going to shake your hands again because I just know you are.
Look at what we're saying here. Look at the three governors here. It would seem that we're beginning to, whether or not you like it, it's what is beginning to gain prominence. Maybe it's a sign of a reminder as to what exactly is going on.
I agree with you, because I ordinarily won't shake people's hands. Just, as a matter of choice. If we refrain from doing certain things for now, I think it will be necessary. Because when something is new, when HIV, I think I was in school when HIV was first discovered. And a lot of things people had, even our lecturers, people outside, a lot of things people had to say. It is like this, it is like this. Later we understood it better. Now we seem to have conquered it to a very large extent. It's not something we get to talk about anymore. It's still there, but it's not something.
Maybe that's why it's still ravaging, because we don't talk about it.
But for now, this one, there will be a lot of meats. Now people are cashing in and bringing in all sorts of things called sanitizer. That's another thing I would like to seize this opportunity to say. What you need really is to wash your hands with soap and water. And that's it. That will just suffice. If you use sanitizer, it wouldn't harm you. But when everybody now starts selling all sorts of products called sanitizer now, don't be surprised if certain people start putting certain chemicals in the bottle and label them as sanitizer for you. So I will stay with soap and water, because it is a scientific fact that it will suffice. It's just good enough. And sanitizer is not a replacement.
Those emergency numbers, in talking about them here, you imply that there's an alternative number to the Ebola help number. We've received calls of people who are not able to get through. Over the weekend, we got a call about a body that was dumped around this axis, and then that number was called, no response. The response they got were coming, and hours later, nobody came. So is there an alternative number to the Ebola help that can be responded to almost immediately? And if that is, what's the number so that people can, some people are asking here already.
You see, because the whole thing is new, we are developing a lot of things, and we will let you know. For now, we have the Ebola help numbers, and the numbers of those of us who have committed to day and night, answering calls on this thing. You may want to test it. Call me any time of the night. I will respond. And my number is out there. So for now, that's what. But a lot of experts are in now, and they are telling us a lot of things to do, and we are responding. And the governor has decided that whatever is going to take to combat this, we will do, regardless of the cost.
But part of the message out there is that, or what you're trying to put out is, if someone comes down or you suspect that somebody has contracted the virus, don't touch the person. If you call the numbers, and even if the numbers nobody picks up yet, still don't touch the person. Let the people who are experts come in.
It is safer. It is safer that way.
Okay.
It is safer that way.
Just
what
quickly,
about
though, Chamberlain? Before we move on to the next question, I just want you to comment on this. What do you know about this Purell sanitizer that has been launched? Because you are saying that it's not an alternative to washing your hands with water and soap. But it was also saying that that's going to be one of the approaches from federal to state level, considering the meeting that was held yesterday.
This is, as I said, it's not a wrong thing to do, to use sanitizer. But it is a scientific fact that soap and water will suffice, will just be enough. If you use sanitizer, it's okay. I wouldn't bother about sanitizer.
That's for you.
Yes, because we have to let people know the facts and let them make their choice.
Okay, but
I'm using soap and water. When I entered your premises today, I've washed my hands with soap and water.
You bypassed the sanitizer.
Before I came in to this place.
Okay. Also tell us, I mean, much as we need to be careful and then look out for one another, we also have this culture where we can't throw compassion out of the window. So we have to be cautious about it.
Exactly.
But what is being done about, for instance, maybe say secondary, if there's any such thing as tertiary contacts with the virus? Is there anything being done to ensure that, because there are people who, correct me if I'm wrong, who are said to have contracted it and eventually do not come down with the virus after they surpass their 2 to 21 day incubating period? Those who may have been said to be maybe on that watch.
Come again. They have contracted it?
If there's a secondary or tertiary person who
no, I heard that.
has
You're talking
touched
about people who have
someone.
Contracted it.
No, maybe not contracted is a word. Maybe if there's a secondary or tertiary contact and the person does not come down with the virus after the 2 to 21 day period. First of all, is there any such case?
There can be, because if you are exposed to something, it doesn't mean you will get it.
Okay, so the question then...
If somebody has TB here and is coughing, it doesn't mean automatically all of us will come down with TB.
So the question then is, for those kind of people, their employees or their employers may think, oh, wait a minute, you're under watch. So that stigma can be there, and then they could lose their jobs. Can it get to that?
Those things will happen. Initially, when we were fighting HIV/AIDS, at the peak of it was when I was a member of the House of Assembly of Lagos State. I was chairman House Committee on Health, 1999 to 2003. That was at the peak of, fighting HIV/AIDS. All sorts of things. Stigmatization was one of the major problems we had to fight at a particular stage. So stigmatization will happen is one of the reasons why we should keep educating the public. The scenario you just painted now, I wouldn't argue it will come up. But we have to keep letting people know that, no, this is it, this is not it, and all that.
Because the employees, they will need the help of the government to say, okay, no, you can't deal with this.
We will come in. We are ready at any time to come in to not only to conquer Ebola virus and contain it and make sure it doesn't spread more than it has presently. We are also ready to handle all issues arising, because there will be secondary, tertiary issues arising from them. Some people may lose their job, maybe because somebody just labeled them, you know, maybe that guy has been sick, or no, please go away. It's responsibility of government. The governor himself has committed himself to making sure that in very, 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 very near future, this thing becomes a thing of the past. So I agree, the scenario you painted can